Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to another episode of our Let's Play of the Path of Exile, Fall of Oriath beta here. I have seemed to have developed a slight cold, but we're on a bit of a time limit with this beta, because eventually this wave will end and reset and we'll lose our characters. So I was going to keep playing, so it's going to be a low commentary game. We're just going to appreciate and enjoy the new content without stressing my voice too much. So I apologize, these will probably be a boring series of videos here because I do have to record a handful of them today just again to continue to progress through the game before we run out of time here. And I won't be able to stress my voice too much. So anyway, since the last episode, a couple of things. I did go and find the waypoint to the Southern Forest and the riverways here just to clear that up. The Southern Forest is quite cool because that's normally where you come into Act 2 after defeating the end boss of Act 1, which is Merveil, but now we're going through it backwards, which I think is very exciting and very interesting. Another couple of things that have developed here. It turns out that this character here, Lily, does what the person in the library does, which is to say offer you all the skill gems that you've unlocked so far. So, and she does also sell, we've unlocked at some point, the cast when damage taken support. I probably could have gotten it earlier, I just, probably didn't know where. So I've gone and re-gemmed some things over here. So I've got a cast when damage support to cast Immortal Call, which is very popular because, of course, it makes you completely immune to all damage for a fraction of a second, 0.4 as a base. But it does make you invulnerable longer if you burn off endurance charges, which we will be generating later on. You have the increased duration support in there, and also Molten Shell is another good defensive thing, which will benefit from the increased support. We've got another cast when damage taken over here, which is going to be casting, cursing people, temporal chains to slow them down, and this is also going to be responsible for recasting the flame totem for me, which is great. I don't have the sockets right now to do the fire trap, so I've just set it aside for now. We might get it back later. We'll see how it goes. Ultimately, almost all of my gear is going to be filled with cast when damage taken stuff. We won't be casting fire trap in the long run, but for now it's going to work out okay. And that's it. So literally the only abilities I have here are flame dash and flame totem. That is it. So let's go ahead and kill, and I'm going to try to slow down with my talking here, and hopefully I don't sniffle too much. Is that where I want to go? It is, actually. I haven't actually been in here yet.
The Brine King, his time has almost come. Then hope will be... I will be gone. Please, take the black flag. It once fluttered from the mast of the Black Crest, Wayne Roth's ship. Throw it into the flames of the beacon. It's your only chance of reaching me, of turning this tide. The king can't keep secrets like this from me any longer. It's just the way of things. Find me, please, before...
Okay. Huh. What the frack is that? Brine crack. I don't remember. What do I have? Flammability, controlled destruction. Right, but I don't have blue sockets. Alright. I will want to be able to start cursing with flammability probably sooner rather than later. So I should really just do something to find a blue socket. We'll see. Not many mobs. Ooh, double essence. Higher level too. It's going to be a tougher one to fight, but good reward. So yeah, It feels so unusual or unnatural to me not to be talking. It's one of the things that's funny when you watch like streams of like professional esports people, right, who are really good at the game. But you're not there for the commentary necessarily. And some, you know, add more or less commentary or whatever. But a lot of these streams are actually quite silent. It's always been like, man, maybe I should have done it that way. Life would be a lot easier if I didn't have to talk constantly. Fire pen, yes. And it would be a lot less vulnerable to this. You've got one of these guys have got the other allies can't die thing. We'll have to see if we want to level up temp chains. Okay. The answer is yes. So, this cast when damage support, unless I level it up, can only support gems up to level 38 or below as a requirement, but this is still well below that. Next level is going to require 27, so yes. The lower level your cast when damage taken is, the more often it'll go off. But you might want it. You might want to support a higher level skill gem, in which point you're going to be forced to level up your cast when damage taken. Which is fine. So at level 38, I think it needs like 500 damage to be taken to trigger. It doesn't have to be all in one shot either. I think it does like reset its timer after like a few seconds, but I think you could take damage over a few seconds. It's something like that. It's definitely accumulation. I don't remember. I got the wiki page open, but I don't remember if they explained it or not. Bum 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 bum. The bacon. All right. Still have to do the optional bit with the Mistress. Hell, you know what? Let's go and do that now. Just because. It annoys me that we're leaving a side quest behind so much. Is the puppet Mistress in the wetlands? Wetlands where we used to fight Oak? Yep, okay. Don't know what the reward is. But are those? I don't think we've seen those kind of monsters before. Huh. Are they called ravenous parasites? Oh. You know, they move so slowly, and they're called parasites, it makes me really concerned about what they'll do if they, like, jump on me. Okay, we want to keep leveling up the fast projectiles. The molten shell is tied to a cast when damage taken, although, yeah, it can still level up quite a bit before it hits that limit. So, molten shell is on the same cast when damage taken as my immortal call, and both are linked to an increased duration. And then I think one of the big questions will be, perhaps, how highly we want to level the increased duration. Because each time you level increased duration, you get an extra 1% duration on your linked abilities. So, and none of them have, like, a breakpoint, right? There's not like, oh, if we level this exactly to level 9, that's optimal because of reasons, whatever. They all go up pretty linearly. Projectile weakness is a curse, presumably? I don't know, I'll grab it. Just to put it in the bank. So yeah, so then it mostly becomes a question of either it's not worth leveling them up at all, or one of them might be worth maxing out as a level. I think the first one, like the one that maxes out the first at the lowest level requirement is, I think, increased duration. I've got all these tabs up. So a level 20 increased duration gem has a level requirement of 70. Oh no, they all have a level requirement of 70 at level 20. As far as I can tell. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I'll probably, like, hold off for now. One of the things is, since I'm not all the way to level 70 right now and I have a lower health pool, I definitely need... Oh, I guess we're already at the Puppet Mistress. I will want to keep Immortal, or Cast When Damage Taken lower level, just because it's going to represent a higher percentage of my health pool, as is, right? But as my health pool grows, you know, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, and more, potentially... then I could afford to run a high level Cast When Damage Taken. Does she keep summoning people? Like, what's... Is that the Puppet Mistress? That's a nest. Okay, well, let's blow up the nest. This is a very, like, disgusting map. Come on, focus on killing that nest. Problem is, if I position the totems in such a way to encourage them to hit the nest, the flame's really not moving in a way to kill the other mobs. There we go. Are these things got parasites on them? I think so, yeah. So I guess she's using parasites to control these things. But yeah, I was like, why does it keep popping out more dudes? But they all have little creepy crawlies in their brain or something. Excellent. Both this map, this area, and the mobs I'm fighting feel very different from everything before. So again, kudos to Grinding Gear for really adding a lot of variety in this giant expansion. Can't believe this expansion is going to cost as much as the base game, though. That's actually kind of greedy. The joke here is that the game is free, therefore the expansion is also free. Oh, this one's nice, because I can put the flame totems roughly behind this one, so it can spray forward a little bit. Except, when they're crowded, even though I try to place the totems, like, over here as well, it displaces to the nearest free area using some sort of calculation, which isn't entirely clear. Alright, so I've killed all these goobers, right? So... Oh! There's a Puppet Mistress. I was expecting there to be some, like, big, like, something, but... I also expected the Puppet Mistress to be human. So I was expecting, you know, more flavor text. You do resist elemental damage, which is going to be kind of annoying. But we're going to keep putting totems behind you, and then sort of running away a little bit. Hey, there's my molten shell. And I think that big explosion, I think that's my mortal call going off. Again, that's... Well, I think with the increased duration, it's going to hit about a half a second of invulnerability. I don't remember what the base... the lowest level increased duration gives us 45% increase, and it's 0.4 by base. Okay. So about 0.6 seconds of vulnerability as is. It's not too shabby. One thing to note about Cast When Damage Taken is it severely nears the damage dealt by the linked ability. But since I can't deal damage directly anyway, it's really moot point. No one uses Cast When Damage Taken to do damage effects. Well, that's not entirely true, actually. Because as you level up Cast When Damage Taken, that damage debuff shrinks down and down and down. At this point, there's shit all around her, so I guess it doesn't matter as much what side I put the totem on. Nah, it's still better on the back. Although, I really apparently don't want to cluster them too much, because she keep putting pools of goo underneath them. You can see the temporal chains going off as well. So temporal chains is a curse that slows people down, both their movement and their attack rate. There is like a mechanic and a logic and an order to how your Cast When Damage Taken effects get triggered. Like, they don't all go off every time. They go off sort of in a sequence, and there's a bit of an internal cooldown and different things like that. So the more Cast When Damage Taken effects you have, like, the more they'll sort of cycle through each other, as opposed to being, you know, consistently the same effect going off over and over, but that's okay. At least as far as I understand it. Next level is 36, which is still fine. We'll take a look at the... hello, Sin. Possibility. 851. 918. Finally got something that increases my damage. And again, it's funny that it's not the percentage spell damage that increases it. It's the flat adding some new element to this spell. Now, I mean, that's not fire damage, so it won't scale the same way as before, but it's still going to be better for now, so that's going to be okay. So we'll drop the Flame Dash there. The advantage of this as well is that we can actually drop our Flammability down here. I mean, the link doesn't matter, but now I'll have access to the Flammability curse, and that's going to be swell. So, what do you got? Nifty. I'm going to keep the reduced fire damage from moving for now, though. Alright. I guess we can just portal. Talk to Tarkly. So, I mean, reward 1 was unlocking a new god thing, but reward 2 is a skill point. Yeah. It's been a few days since the last time I recorded, so I don't remember where in the tree we are and what we're trying to progress to. Oh, probably still over here. Aspect. Yeah, we're going to pick up the totemic stuff over here. Okay. So, we'll pop back over to the bacon. Seems to be the only quest we have left. Use the black flag at the beacon. Excuse me. Now I know that like whispering and certainly clearing your throat, but like whispering or trying to do weird things with your voice when you've got a sore throat is actually a bad idea. It actually, like, it's counter to logic, but whispering is harder on your throat than just speaking at a normal voice. Something about the way that you actually, you know, use your vocal cords in a whisper that is harder on them. So, I should really try to avoid doing that right now. I should probably just keep my mouth shut and, you know, not record at all and just take the day off and drink lots of hot tea, but I want to play video games. Shut up. Like, what do you do when you're sick and you take a day off? You're going to go and play video games, right? Exactly. That's what I want to do. It just so happens that all the video games I want to play are video games that I'm recording. Like, sometimes I'm like, well, I just play game X on my own, because either, you know, I don't think it's going to be a great Let's Play for that, or it's a game I'm just playing for myself. A lot of RPGs are like that, right? Like, you know, I'll play, like, Mass Effect or something. That's a game I was playing on my own. And Path of Exile is usually like that for me. Except I started this stupid series with the stupid beta, and now I'm stuck. What a terrible job I have. Isn't my life awful? Do I still want to level you up? Yes, you're still low enough level. An interesting question is, what support gem? I don't think there is going to be a support gem with the temp chains and the flame golem. There's just going to be some third effect over there that we're going to link to. I'm trying to think. It's not going to be the Frost Blasty spell, because the Frost Blasty spell is probably going to get linked with something to splash, because I think by default it's just a single projectile. So we're either going to want like penetration, chaining, multiple projectiles, some combination of the above, because again, it's mostly just there as a slow effect. We want that to go off and freeze people and slow them down. It's not about damage it's going to do. I don't know. One interesting thing with the Ancestral Bond that I have, which says I can't do damage with skills directly, right? So only, you know, totems, minions, and traps. But I wonder if, like, the cast when damage taken support counts as being cast directly. I've assumed that it does, and therefore that wouldn't do any damage, but I think it'll still do the freeze. So a bunch of gems are about to level up here. I really don't use my my flame dash enough. Partially... Oh, I could get a faster cast with it. Which... Oh yeah, and I have my flammability too. I could get a faster cast with it, which would affect my my flammability curse. Just dump it down a little faster, which might be handy. I don't think it's as critical, and it would increase the mana cost of flammability, but maybe. Alright, what are you? Molten Shell? Yes. These are my cast when damage taken. Alright, I'm gonna not level them up for now. Because it's the sort of thing you really want to think about and organize. And again, even if I end up leveling them up later, not leveling up now does like freeze them at the current level they're at, which will mean that, you know, so they're not going to keep earning XP. I'm pretty sure you don't earn XP when they haven't been leveled up, which is a bit unfortunate and will slow things down later. But for now, again, I don't have a super deep health pool, so leveling them up so that they take more health to use would end up being pretty crummy. So as it stands, they both have a skill gem level requirement of 38. So that's what we're going to have to limit the rest of our spells to. Which I think is fine. So I'm betting we put the beacons on top of this. Superior conversion trap. Well, we're not using conversion. Although, I suppose technically we could. Conversion, like, mind controls minions, I think, for a while. I think that's what it does. I've never done a conversion build. Well, there's the quest progress marker. Refuel the beacon. Oh! Hey, it's like that thing from the labyrinth. So I guess this is a bunch of fuel that... I'm betting that unlike the labyrinth, it probably doesn't keep spawning enemies. It's going to go by a lot of these statues that'll probably wake up, but I'm thinking it's not infinite spawns. Get cursed. The one problem, right, is you can only have one curse on an enemy at a time by default. So if they hit me and they get temporal chains, that'll override the flammability. And I mean, then it comes to a question of, well, which one do I want at any given time, and do I have to maintain it? It's probably not viable then for me to just keep flammability up all the time on normal things. It'll be maybe more of a response to bosses that have... that have a, words, that have a resistance. Oh, push the fuel carts. Oh, is there more than one? Oh, there's more than one. Okay. Yeah, I suspect flammability won't actually be part of our primary combo too much. Or we get rid of temporal chains. I mean, I could even link flammability into my cast on damage taken, so that it's just auto-cursing people with flammability so that they die faster. That actually might be a way to go. We could, depending on zone, alternate between flammability and temporal chains from our sockets. Prefer one over the other depending on circumstances. Oh, you're going backwards. I thought you just stopped. That's annoying. Hello, Skellies. Okay, so totally full. Light the beacon and throw the black flag into the flame. Ooh! Can I just... Nope. Let's open the flame dash. Alright, let's go. I'm gonna pour myself some more coffee while I wait. Search the Brine King's reef for Nissa. Or Nessa, I suppose. What's so loud? Whoa! You best be believing in ghost stories. Wait, that's not the right accent. But it totally looks like that sort of thing, right? Like, all tentacles and pirate hats. Mm-hmm. Alright, get flammability, because you guys are taking way too long to die. Oh, you have built-in resist fire. I guess because you're all damp. Well, that's annoying. So yeah, definitely a flammability map then. So it'll still say resists fire in their description, but they don't resist fire as much. I don't know if, like, if you debuff their fire resist so much that it goes negative, if it says vulnerable to fire for these guys, or if it just will still say resist fire as their tag. Yep, you can level up again. No, we want the bigger flasks if we're going to start crafting. We could do a random roll on the reinforced greaves, because it's 3 gems, which is, or 3 link sockets, which is better than 1, but I think I'll just wait. Again, because I'm currency poor, I'm just going to have to hope I get lucky and get some 4-link boots. 4-link boots, and that's it. And then armor with more links would be nice. We haven't, yeah, we're going to keep leveling up Controlled Destruction. We don't have a slot for you, but if we get a suit of armor, like our primary links for our totems is in our armor. So if we get one, you know, with more slots, with the blue socket, I mean, it might turn out we do more damage if I re-rolled this enough to, you know, get 2 reds, 1 green, and a blue or something like that right now, but I'm not going to stress about it too much, especially since hopefully we're replacing this armor soon, because we've had it for a little bit. There's higher level stuff out there now. And again, if we can get really lucky and get a 5-link, that would be nice. You are Immortal Cull, and you can level up 1 more time. You are Temp Chains, you can still level up. Oh, it's Vegan. He's convenient. Sometimes he can be quite difficult, especially depending on what build you're running. But overall, he's one of the most convenient masters, because it's mostly just stand there and fight him. It's fast, you don't have to run around the map. Very nice. Oh, and we're going to do it in your pit too, which is good, because we don't have to remember about random mobs interacting with us. Okay. Boop, boop. Begin combat, cursed. Oh, he got temp chained. What's interesting is the temp chain will only go off if he's actually hitting me, right? Whenever someone's just attacking my totems, then I'm free to just flammability things, so I don't know, maybe it'll work as is. Cheers, bro. Okay. Is there a way to go here? And since the first time doing all these maps, I don't know, like I don't have a sense as to where we might need to go to get things to happen. Because we came in, like we came in over here, so it's either going to be down there or up there. No idea. Hey, level up. Graceful Sword. I don't remember the name of that item being in the game. I mean, it probably has been. I don't think there's new, like, tiers of swords or whatever. I just don't tend to pay attention to one-handed swords very much in most of my builds. Swords are not quite as popular as, say, daggers, because swords have innate bonus to accuracy rating. I think they all do. I think that's standard, right? I'm not getting that wrong. Whereas daggers, for example, get crit rating, so those tend to be a little bit more popular. Where are we? Here. There we go. More totem cast speed is going to be very nice. Since we really don't have much of the totem cast speed, that 3% increase is very much like a 3% more. I think we may have picked up another increased cast speed somewhere along the way. I know spreading them out isn't quite as optimal, but they keep getting smashed. Although I don't think it's AoEs that are smashing them, so maybe clustering them is fine. Well, no, it looks like someone's using some sort of ground pound with a little bit of an AoE. So, what's that? Molten Shell, next level. Yep, nope, you're still good for a level up. Hello, Orb of Fusing. Is there anything over here? No. Okay. Brine King's Throne. This boss fight? Oh, I can see Nessa. Let's open a safety portal. So I guess you weren't really a damsel in distress. Either you've been brainwashed now. To drop. Woo! You hit me so hard, you triggered my immortal call. Alright, lots of minions. Now, most bosses have innate resistance to things. Although, again, temp chains, pretty good for slowing things down a bit. Although, bosses can't be frozen or, like, stunned. Well, maybe they can be mini-stunned from, like, just damage animations and stuff. But I don't think they can be frozen. I don't know if they can be slowed or affected by temp chains. What does your traits actually say? Resist elemental damage, resist chaos. Okay, I mean, I think all bosses have those traits. Are we actually dealing damage to you? There's like a bunch of shit kicking around here that we have to keep. What the frick? Okay. Oh, Nessa's in the pod, and it looks like... So, okay, two things. A, is this just some sort of, like, weird anglerfish, and it's not really Nessa? Or B, is that thing going into the back of her brain and brainwashing her? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out when we kill this thing. Either Nessa's going to pop out, or she ain't. I feel like it's more of a mind control thing than a anglerfish thing. Especially since it's a giant crab and not an anglerfish. Okay, these things are really annoying. And I don't think you get XP for things that spawn. Try to take note of my XP bar and see what's what here. Okay, we got water effects. I mean, I've got enough durability that I'm not feeling overly threatened by the fight. But it is... Woof! I say that. But it is definitely slow going here. Ah! Okay, and this is scary as shit. Come on. At least he stops doing shit when that's going on. I don't know if we can damage him. Looks like the answer is no. And we're getting lightninged at the same time. Okay. He's a little past half. And it looks like I'm not getting XP from killing his critters. You know, it's interesting, like, the fact that the battlefield shrinks like that. And, in fact, is smaller than when we started, because a lot of people's builds really depend on, like, being able to run away from threats. Including my own. Like, the whole thing with the totems is I put the totems down, and then I GTFO. But there's not much GTFOing here. This is probably the tightest match boss fight, you know, in terms of, like, ability to move around. I don't think there's one with, like, Malachi is tiny as well, but I think this, like, shit. But I think this, so his second phase, there's not a whole lot of room to move around, but I think this is even less here. Maybe we'll put the portal there. I think it looks like I got hit by some sort of, like, he gets some water effects that come out of the side. I'm just gonna leave him with the temp chains over here, as opposed to overriding with flammability. There we go. Exit to Act 7 is now open. King Tide achievement done. Okay. Divine juice? Ew. Oh! This is a major god. So, you can have one major and one minor. Cannot be frozen if you've been frozen recently. Can't be stunned if you've been stunned recently. I mean, better just not be frozen in the first place, but still. It's not too shabby. Alright. Sell to Act 7. Looks like we gotta come back to the town because Charkley's got a reward for us. We'll see. So Act 7, then Act 8. Act 8 is the last one in this beta, so when we get there we'll probably wrap up this Let's Play. And then most likely I won't be covering Path of Exile again until the actual expansion comes out. Are we on the Broken Bridge again? I mean, he said Broken Bridge. Is it the Broken Bridge? Yena? Uh-huh. Alright. You love Yena. Silver box, lock it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hi, Sin. Kill Malagaro. Oh, cool. Hey, look at that. Okay, hold on a sec. Let me... It said... Maybe I was on the wrong quest. Maybe it was telling me about the last quest that gave me a reward. That's probably it. Yeah, no. So you guys are just saying, wow, you're a badass. You're awesome. Okay, thanks. Relikish. Oh, Groost. Okay. One thing I need to check, and I need to put a cut in here in a second. Can I do the next... When do I need to do the next run here? Okay, level 55, and I do need to unlock 2 more areas of trials. Okay. I probably won't want to do it right at 55 because, again, I mean, the lab is tough, and if you die while doing it, you reset it, so you just waste a whole bunch of time. Hey, cat. Words. Yeah, I gotta put a cut in here. So you usually want to be slightly over-leveled before you go into it, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we'll put a cut in here, and next episode we'll continue Act 7. Thanks for watching. See you next time.